How's everybody doing tonight? I'd like to welcome to the stage, never been as broke as me. I like that.
Let me tell you how you measure a man. When his world starts to fall, see how tall he stands. It matters not how many times you fall down. What matters most is how many times you rise. Mistakes build character, and character takes you places money can't.
Bring them out. It's hard to yell when the barrel's in your mouth. Come on.
In our next segment, he is a one-man design team. His PR people say that he's like FUBU, Jacob the Jeweler, Picasso, DKNY, and B. Smith all rolled into one. His name is Darren Reesby, and if you haven't already heard of him, mark my word, you will. Meet Darren Reesby, the man behind the Empire. Empire Productions, that is. A multifaceted company that designs clothing, jewelry, hats, belts, shoes, and more. So how does one get started in this business?
Well, I would think I want to go all the way back when I was like 3 years old. And my mother...
That's pretty far back.
It's very far back. And I was in kindergarten at school. And this is where the fashion bug hit me. I used to see all the other kids running around school. And they had on, you know, decent clothes and stuff. But I told my mother I wanted to be different at 3. You know, as 3 or 5 years old when I first started talking, I wanted to be different. So she went out and bought me some cowboy boots, artificial suede pants, fur vest, and I probably was one of the sharpest dressed kindergartners in there. He probably couldn't even talk. But that's where I kind of got the bug. And then being at home, my mother has a bachelor's degree in fashion design, fashion merchandising. So I used to see her sewing on a sewing machine all the time. So when I was around 8, 9 years old, I had a G.I. Joe. And I used to make the clothes for the G.I. Joe. I actually didn't sew them, but I would just cut out the leg part and then take a stapler and staple up the legs. And then I made the pants for my G.I. Joe. And now me sitting here today thinking all the way back then that this is what's going to catapult me to doing what I like to do now.
There are about 5 different companies under the Empire umbrella, starting with his first company, Mountaintop Designs, where he became the designer to the stars, designing clothes for Janet Jackson, Queen Latifah, MC Hammer, and others, going to their concerts and presenting the items to them.
One particular incident, Ice-T, I had on a particular jacket that had all his pictures and stuff on it, and he liked it so much that he actually gave me $300 just for wearing it. So that kind of, you know, told me then that this person's been, you know, LA, New York, and, you know, around the world. And for him to appreciate something that I just had on, I thought that that had a niche. So from there, I came out with a line called Straight Outta Ghetto Gear, never forget where you come from. My things that I do, it stands for something. And I never forget where you come from was saying that it's okay to make it, but your roots is your roots. You always should go back home and recognize where you came from. So that actually went into the Boston stores in 1995. I was one of the first black designers, me and Carl Kanai, in the Midwest in the Boston stores. And then we actually started to go into merry-go-rounds back then, and they closed up some stores. So that's what stopped me, and I went into work for Walmart.
Working for Walmart turned out to be a blessing for Darren. This is where he gained experience running multiple departments at the same time, sort of mini companies within a company, a lot like his Empire company does now. And it was Walmart where he got a steady paycheck that he put back into his business, bankrolling his ever-growing inventory of new designs. After a few years, he was ready to go out on his own again, this time getting his designs in Carson Perry in the Chicago market. But clothing and accessories aren't his only creative designs. There's his latest venture, Mini Mobile Marketing. The perfect must-have for promoting you or your business, these mini remote-control cars, trucks, and bikes can be customized to your liking. Some complete with DVD players displaying your very own message.
After that, I came back out from doing that and came out with this line that we're bringing out now under the Empire umbrella, which is called Colorblind. Vision all colors as an equal or be colorblind. Another statement, because I believe that a blind man can't be prejudiced if he can't see. He can be prejudiced of smell or touch or something else, but he can't be prejudiced of the color. And I thought it was something that was universal that everybody can enjoy.
As for new ideas, they just keep coming. In the works now is his shoe over design, clothes that are identical to your favorite shoe. And then there's his wood trim designs. Yes, real wood trim on shoes, hats, and belts. Just as the ideas and inventory keep growing, so does the business. The once one-man band has moved to a trio. Joining Darren is Jesse Anderson, in charge of sales, and Sylvester Luckett, taking care of the finances. What's helped you the most in all of your endeavors?
A lot of people ask me, well, Darren, how did you get where you at now? What did you have to go? What are some of the things? And I tell them that there's one thing that's in my wallet that helped me considerably. And the average person would say, well, you know, credit card, is that another? It's this library card, because this library card can actually take you places where money can't take you sometime. It can take you to get knowledge that you normally would have to pay for, but you have to seek the knowledge, and that's the only difference as far as what the library is there for. A lot of people can't believe that I'm going and coming in from a library. You know, I call people and they, where you at? I'm at the library. Well, what you doing at the library? You got a test? You studying for something? Yeah, I'm studying to make it in life. And there's a lot of things that you can get from the library, like I said, that's free. I did my own patent. I went to a couple of lawyers, and they were asking $10,000, $20,000. Well, if I had $10,000, $20,000 to give them, I think I'd be doing a lot of other things. So I actually went and I seeked the knowledge from the library. Went and got a book on how to do patents, and I actually read and studied it, and it helped me tremendously. Now that they got the internet and the computers there, I tell anybody that comes up to me and be like, well, Darren, man, I don't know how you made it. Can I get some connections? I tell them, hey, go straight to the library. That's the best connection that you can get.
Why do you stay in Milwaukee? Why didn't you go to New York or Atlanta or California?
Big question, and everybody asks me that. Why do I stay in Milwaukee? We go out to New York maybe 3 or 4 times a month, L.A. We've been to Atlanta. But my main goal is, another thing that I like is the kids. The kids are our future. And like I said about showing them that there's somebody that actually made it out of Milwaukee, that they can touch, that they can see, that they can say, oh, I know him. He stayed down the street. He's actually doing something. And not just, like I said, the basketball players, that's fine and dandy, the rappers, but to actually say that you got like a Donald Trump or a Ted Turner, somebody that's striving to be a all different mediums, is kind of rare. And I really didn't want to take myself and say, okay, yeah, I probably could have made it maybe 3 or 4 or 5 years before now, but I choose to stay in Milwaukee to actually give the kids here something to look up to and be proud that there's somebody in their own hometown, and don't feel as though that, well, I'm not in New York, I'm not in LA, I'm not going to make it. Because to be totally honest, when we go out to these different places, they're shocked that we're from Milwaukee, but then they're even bigger shocked that the talent and the creativity that we're bringing to their cities. And a lot of people got to understand, a lot of people that are in those big cities, they come from small cities. They just go there to do what they have to do because that's some places. Sometimes you have to go where the market bears. But it's your choice to actually come back home and give somebody else the opportunity to see that you made it and that they can go down that same path.
I like the fact that he wants to stay in Milwaukee and encourage our young people. You know, what we didn't show you is that Darren also paints and does interior decorating. He truly is a one-man design team. Well, we wish Darren and his partners as Empire Designs much success.